Hello, this is Candace Ridardi coming to you live from my home office in Muskegon, Michigan. Today is July 22nd, and this is Lunch and Learn, Relationship Marketing Lunch and Learn, all about mastering marketing. Today we're going to compare content marketing to social media marketing, and hopefully you'll get a lot of value at the end of the mastermind and walk away with something that you can implement. So here we go. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Candace Ridardi. My biggest accomplishment in life is that I am a mom. I'm so proud of my 21-year-old daughter. She's an A student in college. You know, if in this grand scheme of things, I think that's about the best accomplishment a parent can make. I've also been the CEO of my family-run business for over 20 years. And my husband and I, we launched the whole concept of selling custom furniture on the internet. So that is a little bit about me. So why are you here? I really like my classes to be interactive. I want you to ask questions. Christy is monitoring the chat. If you want to ask your question in the chat, she will interrupt me. If you don't mind interrupting me, go ahead and unmute yourself and ask your questions during the class, because when you ask questions, it adds value to the course. So today we're learning about the definition of marketing. We're going to differentiate between content marketing and social media marketing. And then we're going to go over the best content marketing tactics for right now, 2020, COVID-19, pandemic, 2020. We're going to go over what those are. So I'm going to reiterate this again. I really want to know why you're here, so ask those questions. I probably should take that slide out and put it in a different place. I don't need it twice. Okay, so what is marketing? Does anybody want to share their best guess with me about what marketing is? No? All right, well, I have an analogy then. So imagine that the circus is coming to town, and you paint a sign that says, "Circus is coming to town." That's advertising. That sign is advertising. If you put the sign on an elephant and you parade the elephant through town, that's promotion. So if you saw my Facebook post with the elephant and the question was, what does this elephant have to do with marketing? There it is. Put a sign on an elephant and you parade it through town, that's promotion. If the elephant walks through the mayor's flower bed and the local newspaper writes it up, that's publicity. And publicity is good. Don't be afraid of publicity, even if it's bad publicity. Because if you can get the mayor to laugh about the destroyed flower bed and the elephant in his yard, that's public relations. Public relations is one of the reasons why my company did so well for about 9 years. We had a great public relations event that created 9 years worth of income for my company. So, and I've told that story before. If you want to hear that story, book a one-on-one with me. So if the town citizens go to the circus and you walk them around and you share the entertainment booths and you explain to them how much fun they're going to have spending money at the booths, and you answer all their questions, and then they fork over some money, that's sales. See the difference? Okay. And then if you plan the whole thing, including walking your elephant through that mayor's yard, that's marketing. Marketing is a plan. You got to have a plan. I know that some of you are going to go, but it's true. You need to have a plan. Sometimes public relations and publicity happen when you're not expecting them, but if you have a plan in place, you know how to react to them. All right, so all of that came verbatim. It was, if you notice, it was in quotes, came verbatim from this book, The One-Page Marketing Plan by Alan Deeb. He's an Australian. I am obsessed with this book. I am so obsessed with this book that I created about 4 months worth of content around his book. So I believe in his book so much that I am going to be coaching on his book for the next 4 months. And that's how much content I'm getting out of really short. I mean, it's like a 150-page book, but that's how jam-packed it is with content, the one-page marketing plan by Alan Deeb. So you can read it yourself, and you can try to implement the plans that he has, or you can come along with me for the journey and we can do it together. Like, fun times. Okay, so here's what the book looks like. It's basically 3 marketing phases and a 9-step system. And when you put it all together, you get a 1-page marketing plan. And you can see that my marketing plan is almost done. I'm still working on the last 3. Okay, and we'll be talking about this more, so we can talk about this more. All right. Here's what the 3 marketing phases are: before, during, and after. And then there's 3 subsets of each of those phases, right? Marketing happens through the whole process. So you are creating your content and your social media posts through the whole process of marketing. It is not a one and done thing. It is a process. That is why you need a plan. Okay, so what is the difference between content marketing and social media marketing? Well, content marketing is education focused, and really good content marketers provide a ton of free education. I have to tell you that the business coaches that I've actually paid money to, I spent maybe even years absorbing all of their free content until I got to the point where I need to know more from this person. So they put a lot of free content out there that is enough. I had enough free content out there to learn how to host masterminds. And then after, or you don't really host a mastermind, you facilitate a mastermind. But then after I did it for a few years, I realized that I was missing a couple of key pieces to the whole mastermind system. So I hired the coach who I had been taking all those free classes from to actually teach me what I was doing wrong. And let me tell you, the difference between getting the free education and the one-on-one coaching education was phenomenal. So education is out there. And I don't know why I went into that story, it just is. And I love my business coach, so maybe eventually I'll interview her in one of these classes. So content marketing is audience driven. It's about what the audience wants to hear from you, wants to learn from you. It's audience, 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 educate, educate, educate. So what is social media marketing? Well, Christy, were you there for the, some of you may have seen the Harley Davidson, the guy from Harley Davidson. He used to be the media marketing manager for Harley Davidson. He did a couple years ago, a few of us may have attended this event that he was at, where he did a keynote from the stage, and he was talking about Harley Davidson riders and how when they're on their bike and they're revving their motors. Is anybody laughing about this right now? They're revving their motors. What are they saying? They're saying, "Look at me, I got a Harley, look at me," right? Social media marketing is all about me, 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 me. Look at me, I'm gorgeous. Look at my perfect hair and my perfect eyelashes and my fantastic earrings. Look at me, I'm beautiful. So buy from me because I'm beautiful. That's what social media marketing is. It's about me, whereas content marketing is about you, right? If I'm putting content out there, it's not to make me happy, it's to give you some value. So that is the huge difference between content marketing and social media marketing. And if you just want to look at the difference between content marketing and social media marketing in pictures, think about Gary Vaynerchuk versus Kim Kardashian, right? Gary Vaynerchuk is constantly putting free content out there that is value driven, that people actually learn from, that changes people's lives, and he gives it away for free. And in exchange for that free content that he puts out there, some major corporations pay him hundreds of thousands of dollars to come and train their staff, right? But he's constantly giving away free content to people like you and me. Whereas Kim Kardashian does nothing but say, "Hey, I'm beautiful. Check out my beautiful behind. I can even put a coffee cup on it, or a wine glass on it. And I'm so beautiful. You want to be like me, so you want to buy whatever I'm selling." Right? She never gives away free content. She never adds value. She just says, "Hey, look at me." And some people like that. But in the world of marketing, Gary Vaynerchuk is a better example. Not everybody can be Kim Kardashian. Okay. So there is a market for your product or service, and it looks kind of like this. There are 30% of the people in the world who would never buy from you, no matter, even if it was free. There just are. There are people who just don't relate to you, and they don't want to buy what you have. And then there's another 30% that are meh, not interested. And then there's 30% who are like, that's really interesting, but I don't need it right now. And then there's 7% who are like, I do kind of need it, but I'm not sure if yours is the one that I want. And then 3% are like, I'm ready now. I want to buy now. Give it to me now. Now. Here's my credit card, right? So when we are marketing to that 37%, because we don't need to market to the 3% because they're already ready. We need to market to the 37%, the 7% who are open to buying, and the 30% who are probably going to buy later, right? Because those 30%, if you don't keep them engaged with engaging content, then they're going to go to your competition. But if you can keep educating them and giving them value and giving them free content, when they are ready to buy, you're going to be top of mind, right? You're going to be top of mind. So we are focusing on that 37% in our content, and we are determining what we can give to them. We need to determine what we can give to them so that they are loyal to us, they tell other people about us, and they come back and buy more after they've purchased the first time. So I told you before that my husband and I have had this online custom furniture business for over 20 years. We actually are semi-retired. We only take on a handful of orders a year. And we actually had to increase our prices again so that we could reduce the number of orders that we were building. And that, it took us 22 years to get to that point. We learned a lesson a long time ago we had a client who was a plumber, and he told us that he had a beautiful home with a beautiful pool in the backyard, and he told us that it took him 30 years to become an overnight success. And we had a baby at the time. The baby was like 9 months old. Dorothy was 9 months old. She's 21 now. So this is a long time ago. And we were working really hard to build our business. So when he told us that, we were like, okay, we know this is a long game, not a short game. And we know that if we work really hard now, that the long-term benefits are going to be great. And so we really paid attention to what he told us. And 15 years later, we were an overnight success. It wasn't, after 15 years of really hard work, our business got to the point where we didn't have to work as hard because it was easy. So right now, to get to that whole point, right now, I'm going to tell you that we are going to build, because of coronavirus, we're going to build 3 jobs this year. And they've already been booked. And 2 of them are repeat customers, and 1 of them is a new customer. All right? That new customer really wanted what we had. So she was in at 7%. And the other 2 customers were 3% because they were repeat business. So 2/3 of our current customer list, which is only 3, because we really only need 3 customers this year, are repeat buyers. And the other one was open to buy, and I just had to do a little marketing to reassure her that we were the right company. And because I have a system, I knew exactly what to tell her so that she would become ready to buy rather than open to buy. Okay. I wasn't intending to tell you that story, but hopefully you gleaned a couple of little nuggets from it. So when we're talking about content, we're talking about information that they can't get from anybody else. So when you're sharing free content with somebody, you are giving them your best stuff that only you know how to provide. So this is a picture of an airline mechanic, Air Force mechanic. I think she's Air Force. I can't tell by the insignia. She's an Air Force mechanic. She's changing the oil in a plane. If she were to teach a class on changing the oil of an airplane, don't you think that you would consider that she would be an expert in her field, right? So what is it that you do that you can teach to people that nobody else can teach? So that's when you're thinking about content, that's what you need to be thinking about. Okay. I had a whole bunch of slides that I deleted about half an hour ago about this whole idea of where do you find content and what kind of content, but I'm gonna give you this list and screenshot it if you want to. So this list is actually from Content Marketing Institute, and it was May 2017 when they created this list. So it is outdated for coronavirus pandemic times. So I'm going to tell you what I think from this list are the marketing tactics that work right now in 2020. So those are the ones that are in bold. Did somebody have a question?
Mary had a question.
Yes.
She wanted to know what was the name of the guy that was pictured next to Kim Kardashian?
Oh, that's Gary Vaynerchuk. Gary Vaynerchuk. Okay, so right now, social media content is a good tactic because everybody's on social media. My problem with social media is that the social media companies own the content. So if you are going to put content out there on social media, make sure that you also have it in a place that you own. So that most logical place is your own personal blog. So if you want to put out some educational material about, let me see who's on right now. Okay, so I'm going to use Christy because she's a massage therapist. So this is and I know Christy's business in and out because she's one of my coaching clients. So you don't mind, Christy, if I pick on you, do you? Do you? Wait, hold on. I don't know. I can't see you. Do you mind? Say yes or no.
Not at all.
Okay. So, oops. So Christy is actually a reflexologist, and I know for a fact that she can do distance reflexology. She can teach you, I'm gonna move my camera a little bit so you can see my hands. So she can teach you how to do reflexology on your hand yourself so that you can treat yourself for whatever is bothering you right now. And she can do that over video, right? But she can also teach it in a workshop or do a video about it. She can just say, okay, today we're going to talk about what to do if your hip hurts, because we're sitting in our chairs a lot and our hips might start hurting. So this is what you do to fix your hip. And she just do a little, 1-minute video about where to massage to fix a hip, right? Okay. So she makes that video and she then uploads it to YouTube. Or she can live stream the video on social media. I'm just going to go all over the board here. So we're going to use this example. So she can I'm making this up as I go. So she live streams that video on Instagram, right? Okay. Then she downloads the video off of Instagram and she uploads it to YouTube. And then she takes the YouTube video and she embeds it in a blog post, and she makes a blog post called Fix Your Hip Pain with One Easy Move, with this one easy reflexology move. And she writes a little bit of a post and says, if you'd like to schedule your one-on-one, oh, this is really good. Okay, this is your blog post template. Christy, I hope you already notes. Okay, so she posts a video. She talks a little bit about why the move on your hand helps your hip, and then she says, if you'd like to schedule a one-on-one reflexology virtual appointment with me, click here, and that takes the person to schedule an appointment. So she's offered free content, and then after she's given away the free content, she says, if you need more help, you can book me to do this over live stream. So we just talked about social media, live streaming, and blogging in one example. So do you see how that crosses over? So if you do long form videos, you can take those long form videos and you can turn them into podcasts. Podcasts are audio and videos are for video, see here. A lot of people go to YouTube. I'm one of them. Go to YouTube and listen to the videos. So why not turn the video into a podcast? And lots of people do that. Trevor Noah turns his daily show into a podcast. Oh, I can't remember their name because I don't like them. Morning Joe. Morning Joe turns their, I feel like they're always yelling at me. Morning Joe turns their daily, their morning news show into a podcast. So you can either listen to their morning show or you can watch their morning show. And the thing about podcasts is they're on demand. you know, and then there's other podcasts that my favorite podcast is LeVar Burton Reads, because he actually reads short stories to you. And it's like listening to LeVar Burton read you to bed. Read you a bedtime story. So there you go. My favorite podcast, LeVar Burton Reads. But that's not a marketing podcast. And there are podcasts on every subject. So if you are looking to learn more about a subject, like this morning, as I was getting ready, you know, because I listened to I was watching YouTube, but this morning I was listening to YouTube videos as I was getting ready, and I stumbled upon a podcast of two chiropractors who have a chiropractor marketing podcast. So their target client is chiropractors, and they teach chiropractors how to market. So they were interviewing Alan Deeb, who wrote the one-page marketing plan, in their podcast. So the podcasts are a great way to learn, and I bet you $1 million that there is a podcast for your industry that will help you. I know there's a woodworking one because my husband was interviewed in it once. Okay, and then mobile apps is kind of a hard one. Mobile apps don't have to be expensive to create, but a mobile app would be like back to Christy. She could have a mobile app. I don't know. That one I can't figure out for Christy. But I got one for Mary Beth. Mary Beth owns a towing company. She could have a mobile app that tells her clients when their tow truck is going to arrive. I mean, I'm sure that there's one out there that you can. I bet you that there is an app out there that you could purchase already, that you just plug it into your dispatch system, and you can tell your clients when their tow truck is going to arrive. And so did I miss curated content hubs? All right. Curated content hubs are something that any of us can do. Any of us can do. Because what did I just do? I curated some content for you, right? I curated the best parts of the one-page marketing plan. I curated this Content Marketing Institute, and there's some more stuff that I've curated. So all of these things that I put together, curation simply means that I found other sources and I brought it all together in one place. So all of this content that I curated for this webinar, I can put together in a blog post about this class, right? Right? So curated content hubs are basically where yes, Christy.
Oh, sorry. I was going to go ahead, finish what you were saying.
Okay, so curated content hubs are exactly what I said. You go out there and you find content that is related to something that your customer wants to know, and you bring it together in one spot with links to where the content is. But you need to keep your readers on your site for as long as possible. So you don't necessarily want them to link, to click on the link. You want to give them as much content as possible. Or if you, well, anyway, we can go into that and that is like advanced marketing. So we can go into that if we have time at the end. So Christy, what's your question?
I was just going to say, like, a mobile app for me could be, stress reduction tips or something like that, where, or it could have something in there where it set reminders for you to do some stress relief.
That's a really good
self-care type things.
That is a really good idea. Really, really good idea. I just have an idea. I have an idea for you that I'll give you later. Okay. Candace can never stop coaching. So any questions on these tactics? Do you guys have ideas on how you can implement these tactics into your particular business? And which ones do you like best?
Right now with my home repairs, I'm liking the curated content of Pinterest.
But it's not just on Pinterest. You've got to take it off of Pinterest.
No, but the thing is every time you read those articles, it's taking you to those people's blogs.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but that's a perfect example of curated content hub is Pinterest, because everybody posts their stuff there to be redirected to their blog.
Exactly. So if you want to curate content and bring them to your blog, you've got to take that curation off of Pinterest and put it onto your own website.
Right.
Okay. So where do you find content ideas? And I believe that content is king. This is a prince. I thought he was cute, so I snagged this picture. So here are ideas on how to find content for your business. You can Google it. Google, let's see, who's on here? Who's on the call? We've got Ellen. Ellen, are you a coach or are you a relationship marketing guru? No? Okay. What do you do?
Sorry, send out cards is what I do. So
okay.
relationship marketing.
You're a
Sorry.
relationship marketing guru. Okay. And then Mary Beth owns a towing company and an auto body repair, and Christy is a massage therapist. So you guys are lucky because you're here. So if I was Mary Beth and I wanted to know what people wanted to know about auto body repair, I would go to Google and I would just start saying things like, who's the best auto body shop in Muskegon? Or how do I know my auto body shop isn't charging me too much? Or what does an auto body shop do? Questions like that. And Google's gonna give you some answers. So Google isn't the easiest way to do that, but it's something that we're all familiar with. So Answer the Public is really cool. So if you go to answerthepublic.com and you put in that question, or you just put auto body, if you just put auto body in the answerthepublic.com search engine, it's going to tell you what people are searching based on the keyword auto body. And so you can go through it and you can see what people are interested in around the overall, the broad subject of auto body. You can see what they're really interested in. Ubersuggest is another tool like Answer the Public. Ubersuggest, though, gives you more ideas based on your own website. So you would actually put in your website, and Ubersuggest would tell you what your viewers are interested in. So when I put my personal website, momgeek.com, into Ubersuggest, you would think that it was all about breast cancer. So I've been spending the last, since March, basically. I've been spending time since March trying to move my website away from my breast cancer story and more into my coaching story. So I've been very tactical about it, but I also don't want to take away from the fact that there are, God, I hate to brag, but there are tens of thousands of people who have absorbed, who have watched my breast cancer stories. So I don't want to take away from that, but I also want to make sure that breast cancer isn't my story. Coaching is my story. Breast cancer is something I'm living with. Does that make sense? Okay, so a really great way to find out what people want is to see what your competition's doing. So go into Ubersuggest and put in your competition's URL. Your happy customers are a really great place to find content. So why were they happy? Write about it. Anytime you get a good testimonial, I based my entire sales process on my happy custom furniture customers. So every single time somebody told me they liked what they got, that testimonial became a blog post, which got shared on social media, and their quote was put in different places on our website. So I took advantage of every single positive testimonial. But you know what? Your customers who aren't so happy, that's also a really good place to learn. So we actually had a client who, okay, this is the only client that we've ever had anything like this happen with. And I don't know if she was just a scammer or what, but when she placed her order, she ordered a green color. And I said, would you like us to send you a sample of the finish so you know that this is actually the color you want? And she said no. And then when she got the order, she didn't like the color and she wanted her money back on 3 pieces of furniture. And so based on that interaction, we never ever build a piece of furniture without the customer seeing the actual finish first. So we learned from this angry customer going forward how to prevent that from ever happening again. And so another way is to ask your customers. Use surveys. SurveyMonkey is free. So SurveyMonkey, you can go in and you can create questions. You know, what are your, so we'll go back to Christy. What questions do you have about reflexology? And let them answer it in. Do you believe, what is your opinion of reflexology? Well, you could, right now I can't off the top of my head come up with the questions for the survey, but come up with a 4 or 5 question survey and send it out to your customers and say, I'm looking for, I'm doing a little research in my business, and I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out by answering these, 4 or 5 questions about reflexology. If I get 100 people to respond, I'll give away X, right? Don't just give away X if one person responds. So there's some places where you can find content. Do you have any questions here or any input? I gave you a lot of info here. And SurveyMonkey is the other one. Okay, moving on. So how much content do you need to put out there? And the answer is it takes up to 12 times before somebody purchases from you, so you never stop putting content out there. The nice thing about blogging, though, is that you can recycle content. So that's something I do a lot on my blog. And I'm going to teach a blogging class I think it's next month that I'm teaching a blogging class. But I recycle content a lot from my blog. So I have, I can look and see what posts are really popular. You can see that in your stats. So I see the posts that are really popular, and I go and I read the post, and if I think it needs to be updated, I update it, and I just change the date to today. And so automatically I've got a brand new post, but it's something I wrote 5 years ago that I've just updated. Or maybe a lot of times I'll just change the pictures because they're a little outdated, and just update it a little bit, or I'll find a spelling error and then change the date. So you can recycle your content. And if you're using social media, you can recycle your content by using a source like I'm not going to endorse any social media scheduling system right now, but there are social media scheduling systems that you can use so that you can recycle your content based on what was the most popular. Okay, so the answer is there's never enough, but you can recycle. If you run out of things to talk about, recycle. However, you'll always have content to share if you're sharing testimonials from your customers. Take a picture of your customer in front of their brand new redone car with their testimonial. There's a blog post and a social media post. Okay, questions? We're at the end of that part. No questions? I want to see all your pictures. No? Okay, cool. So, how did I do? It's 1:06. Oh my gosh, I'm doing really well. Okay. So upcoming classes are create a blog template that sells. That's next month. I was right. And then in September, we're doing deliver a world-class sales experience. In October, we're doing tricks and treats to stimulate referrals. See what I did there? Tricks and treats. In November, we're doing the business benefits of gratitude, and you can register for all of those at momgeek.com. Lunch, all of those classes are free. Notice I give away free educational content. I practice what I preach. And then every Thursday at 11 o'clock, I have a 1-hour coffee chat. Just show up, we talk about whatever. Most of the time we talk about send out cards, but we talk about all sorts of things during our coffee chats. Coffee cards and conversations. You can register at momgeek.com. Again, that's free. And then I have a membership program where once a week we get together for interactive, not classes, but interactive salon-style masterminds. So what a mastermind is a small curated group of people who come together on a regular basis, and they brainstorm together and they give each other encouragement. The difference between a mastermind and a salon mastermind is, in a mastermind group, it's the same people over and over again. In a salon mastermind, it doesn't have to be the same people over and over again. It can be a different set of people each time because the topics change a little bit. So in the membership program, you also get access to all class replays, which includes my world famous colander sales system, which every time I turn around, there's somebody else who's teaching it. So I need to write the book so that I get credit for it because it's my concept. The abundance class with Renew Agriol. The only place you're going to get that is in the membership program, and the copywriting class with Jen Wynnum, which is also pretty darn amazing. Only place you can get that is in the membership program. And there's also other perks. So upcoming salon masterminds in the membership area are your one-page marketing plan. We're going to go over what it is, and then we're going to break it down into individual sessions where we actually work on the 9 parts of the marketing plan together. So we're going to do that: client avatars, marketing to your client avatar, choosing your best marketing platform, your sales calendar, which is also called a funnel, nurturing your leads, sales conversion, client experience, increasing the value of customer over their lifetime, and orchestrating referrals. And you notice that some of those topics are repeats from the free classes. The difference between what's going to go on in the mastermind versus the class is in the mastermind, you actually will have your section done. We're going to work on your section, it's not a class, it's interactive. It's we're building yours. It's coaching. Okay, and so what does that look like in terms of cost? Oh wait, who is this for? It's for a micropreneur. I love micropreneurs with less than 10 employees. They're my favorite people to work with. Right now we need to pivot. If you're not pivoting right now, you're gonna get stuck. Somebody maybe who's launching a new business, someone who's spent a lot of money on billboards and other pre-COVID marketing channels that aren't any good anymore, and has some cash to spend on marketing because they were wasting it on billboards. So, you know, I know that sounds terrible, but right now, spending $6,000 on a billboard is a really bad idea because everybody's at home, right? So that's who it's for. And it's $97 a month to be a member, or $970 a year. And I will never repeat this offer, and it expires tomorrow. But if you would like to join with a 1-year membership, it's 75% off the first year at momgeek.com. Yes, please. So I will never repeat that discount. And it does expire tomorrow. So that is what I have for you today. Anybody want to share or ask questions or pick my brain? We have 5 minutes. I can't believe how on time I was today. Anybody? No? No? Okay. Well, if there's no questions, then it's good to see your face, Mary. Mary Beth got a webcam.
Precarious situation here in Willowbrook. We see there are 2
You're muted, sweetie.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I was hoping you'd notice. And just so you know, I didn't really lie to you, but I still lost your list. I don't know. I saw it for a brief moment, and then I can't figure out where I saw it. So
okay.
But I did obey and get this.
I'm proud of you.
Okay. Sorry, I had to move my car for a tow truck driver, so that's why I left. Okay.
So, if there aren't any questions, we're done, unless somebody wants to pick my brain.
This was really good. It's just a lot to take in, so I'm a slow learner.
Yeah. Well, Mastermind would be really good for you. I'll send you. I'll email you later. I'll email you later with your list.
All right.
List.
All right. See you, honey. Thanks.
All right, guys. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
I hope you enjoyed.
Thank you.
See you next month. Take care. Ooh, if I can get to the button. Bye.